Welcome to OWAD. I'm Sophia, pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue. Focus on contemporary Chinese expressions after a year of going through history. So these are like in 2025, if you go to the media, social media or mass media, probably social media more, that you're going to see lots of net speak. And in today, we call it a net speak, but in later, if some of these expressions survived um, the test of time, then they would become like a classical expression eventually. That's how you become classical, right? It's become timeless. But if they're gone, that means it's so tied with today's situation that in the future it doesn't apply anymore. Could be like that. Today's expression 摆烂, you can see it's complicated. And this complicated expression became commonly seen expression to describe today's response. It's probably Gen Z's response of giving up, of not performing, like intentionally choosing to almost like opting out of trying hard. That in the past few decades, the previous generations work hard. That's the expectation. But nowadays, newer generation came in and they got 摆烂. Like they don't want to give themselves fully to employment or to whatever efforts society required them to be a productive member. They simply want to enjoy life, to cruise, I guess. So 摆烂 became one of the postures. It was almost like inconceivable in the past few decades, but today it became a commonly talked about and probably commonly practiced gesture for if anybody, Gen Z probably. Okay, 摆, I said it's a display, but this is a very versatile character that can mean different things. It can mean sway. It can mean display, like put something on a statue. And here I use display, but later on, I think probably it's more like hands off. Because you're not controlling the motion of something, therefore that something is going to sway, going with the current, going with the flow. So this hands off expressed by the hand motion on the left. Okay, as you can see, I have to piece something together because they didn't came in the original dictionary, but the dictionary do have the hands as a component. When you see five finger hands, you can see this five finger count there. That means it's a motion related to the hand versus hand played a role to conceptualize something else as a prompt. As a prop to complete the story as a part of the setting. And then there's a three finger hand symbol reaching from the bottom of the screen. From the right is your right hand particular versus if it's hand motion, we're talking specifically about a hand, then it's five finger symbol placed on the left side, which kind of signify categorically this is about hand motion. Okay, the right side is a ba. Ba means remove altogether. It's made of two parts. The top is a net, and we just use two crosses to give you the sense, to give you the repetition of the net will look like this without drawing the whole thing. Just give you two, and humans can derive the rest of it. Our brain is pretty amazing in that way. Pick up from small sample size to what's the word? Extrapolate to the rest of the space. So this is a net. The bottom four parts. It looks complicated, but it was a simplification of the bear symbol. And I guess the bear probably was more commonly seen back then than today. I mean, where I live, on the west coast of America, I can see bear occasionally, but they're harmless. They're cute animals. But occasionally it did come to town to mingle with the locals here. Nobody, I don't know about that, but as far as I know, like it feels threatened. So I was going to say, like in ancient times, probably the animal kingdom versus the human living quarters were not as so segregated as today, the urban setting especially. So this bear symbol made of two parts. The top is the head or the eating function of the bear. Here, the bottom left is the muscle, the bicep of the bear. And then the two top and bottom simply shows two, I mean, four legs, give it a full structure. So we know bear just from the imagery, it means some big eater that's muscular. And Chinese use the bear symbol to symbolize somebody who is capable. And I guess for agrarian society, the capability mostly defined by the muscle power, because that's what's missing ancient times. That's more sought after human ability back then, muscle power, because it's farm work, right? To be able to pull that heavy equipment, the ancient version, a big plow, would be regarded as somebody who is capable. Versus today, probably is more intellectual or more compound skill sets. So ancient times, we use a bear symbol to symbolize people who are able. And we put a net around it, means you capture, you harness those capable people. Keep them, either you are able to convert their energy to direct it to a certain way, so harness, or you remove them. You keep them behind the net. You capture them. Remove these able-bodied, probably able-minded individuals from society. And that's ba means removal. You remove talent, so to speak, so that I guess the remaining of the population are easier to manage. I don't know what's the logic there, but it means remove. So when you pair that with the hand symbol, that means hand removed. So you keep your hand away from something. And that something would be bai, would be just, okay, it could be display, means you put something somewhere and you put your hands off. You're no longer change the position or do anything to it. So therefore it's display. You put it somewhere. Or it could be hands off something, and that something will do this swaying motion. Okay. So to me, my interpretation of here is it will be in either case, it will be hands off. You're going to keep away from. So you no longer put in your efforts into something. That's bai. Lan is a result of that something. Once you keep your hands off, once you're taking a off stance, like you're no longer putting efforts, the result would be rot. And Chinese express rot or rotten here, the status of being rot already. We use a fire symbol on the left, the cone of the fire, the two sparkles on the side. That's a simplification of fire. And then we have the bundle. Okay, so here it's almost like a tree symbol with a kind of bundler thing to tie them into a tight bundle beneath a door, double panel door, and plus the two grass symbol, the cluster of grass. That to me is more like you take grass, a bundle of grass, probably it's your fuel. Like ancient times when they don't have coals yet, the heating function probably is more chopped up wood or grass. And this is like you put those domestically behind the double doors, right? And on the top, it's make it explicit. This is grass. It's not trees. So you have a bundle of grass within the doors, and you're going to use that as your cooking or heating fuel source. And when you do that, you put them on fire. It's almost like if you put those cooking fuels on fire, you burn them, and then they are going to be rotten. That's the logic. Um, or it could be if you put them in, if you boil them, if you put them in water, they should be boiling the water, right? That's the original intended use. But if you put them, you cook them, so to speak. They're not for food, probably. But if, I guess, in hungry times, you have to eat something, then your fuel may be repurposed as food source. And when you put that to a boiling pot with fire, so this thing would be both above fire and under fire, and then you're going to have something like a mash, and that's the rotten imagery. Okay, so we hands off and we let it rot, and that's equivalent to English tanking that came from this, I guess, NBA playing event. If somebody is tanking, it's like giving up because what's the point of trying? So it's contextualized, but it's applied in all kinds of situations in Chinese nowadays. That not just in sports, it's more in life. Like you're just tanking, you're just not even trying. And that's one of the commonly talked about, and I guess more accepted because we talk about it. It's acknowledging the existence of one of the postures you can take through life is by tanking. Bye. Thank you for your time. See you another day.